Hello, eighth graders. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have your notes for Chapter 14, Section 1, The Physical Geography of Northern Europe. And number one, Northern Europe includes the region of Iceland, Ireland, the United Kingdom, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and finally Finland. There are two regions to Northern Europe. If you take a look at the maps below here, we have the British Isles, and we also have the region known as Scandinavia. In comparison to one another, the British Isles are kind of in the southwest corner. So if we're looking down on this map here, this is where our British Isles are. They're a group of islands located across from the English Channel from the rest of Europe. To the northeast of the British Isles, we have Scandinavia. This includes the islands and peninsulas in the far northern region of Europe. So, in number three, Iceland is an island northwest of the British Isles. It's often considered a part of Scandinavia. There are low mountains that are rugged and rocky that cover this region. This would include regions of Iceland, Scotland, and Scandinavia. And speaking of Scandinavia, we have the Chalun Mountains, which are pictured right over here on to the right. This is a series of mountains that's located on the Scandinavian peninsula that, for the most part, divide Norway from Sweden. The land in the northern portion of northern Europe is rugged. We have rugged hills, mountains. The soil is very rocky, making it difficult to farm. The southern portion of northern Europe has rolling hills and farmlands and plains. And as a result, more people live in the southern portion of this region. Climate probably has a lot to do with that as well. Scandinavia has been impacted by the effects of glaciers over the course of time. Fjords, which are located in Norway along the jagged western coastline, were carved by glaciers that moved and eventually melted. Some of these glaciers, for the most part, if you could think about it, maybe in this photograph down below here, really were anywhere to like a mile thick and would cover basically from side to side here. The most famous of these fjords is known as the Svanen Fjord. That's over 100 miles long. It's about 3/4 of a mile wide. It's deep enough that you can bring ocean-going ships. This is actually a photo of this region. What I think is interesting is you can go from basically sea level to roughly 9,000 feet, almost straight up. And that's kind of interesting for a lot of tourists to see. There are lots and lots of waterfalls that are located on these fjords. Anyway, Scandinavia is also the home to thousands of lakes that were created by melting glaciers. Number seven, Great Britain and Norway have benefited from oil and natural gas that have been deposited in the North Sea. Iceland has a large supply of geothermal energy that comes from steam and hot springs warmed by the heat of the Earth's interior. The Scandinavian peninsula has large areas of timber-producing forest. The seas and the ocean of northern Europe are considered to be a natural resource in that they provide fish to the people. Fishing happens to be an industry in Norway, Denmark, and Iceland. You could probably even include it in parts of the United Kingdom as well. The temperatures of Northern Europe are different than the nations with similar latitudes because that they have a warmer temp. The warmer temperatures of Northern Europe are due in part to the ocean current known as the North Atlantic Drift. Denmark and the British Isles and Western Norway have a marine west coast climate, resulting in mild summers and frequent rainfall. But in winter, there is snow and frost, but they don't last for long. Central Norway Sweden and southern Finland have a humid continental climate, very similar to that of the American Midwest, particularly where we live in Nebraska. Further north, there is a subarctic tundra and also ice cap zones. Those are getting closer to the Arctic Circle, getting closer to the North Pole. Thank you very much.